it's me, OGDuffy, and we are back with a Plays and Pints video, but we are drilling down this week. Oh yes, I've got some lovely, different, independent type beers to be trying, and not just that. We are focusing on one particular system this week, or one particular company, should I say, and that company is the one, the only SEGA! Yes, them boys. This is going to be a lot of fun. Lots of systems, lots of games, lots of beers. Let's go. Before we start delving into the rich history that is Sega, oh yes, you know what time it is, people. It's beer o'clock, of course it is. That's what I enjoy about doing these games and plays, or pints and plays, or I don't know, beers and bashes, whatever I choose to call it on that particular one. And today's beer is going out to the one, the only, Mr. Rory Patton. This beer is for you, my friend. So Rory, you have been a channel member now for 5 months, my friend. It's been going that long, so I'm a very early member. This is a Stella Artois, an unfiltered, my friend. You know the OG, I do love my Lady Stellas, but I do particularly like these unfiltered, mainly because they're 5%, not the 4.6% that the others are, the normal Stellas. So these, my friend, are very tidy indeed, and remind me very much of how Stella used to be back in the day. So Rory and everybody else out there, a massive thank you for all of your support from channel memberships and those that like and share the videos, comment on the videos, watch the videos, do all that good stuff. I appreciate each and every single one of you. And this beer, good people, yes, that's you and you watching at home, is for you. Cheers, guys. Onwards and upwards. Sega this week. My God, we're in for a ride, aren't we? Where better to start, really, than the Sega arcade years? Because let's be honest, that's how they cut their teeth in the video game industry. So let's go back and visit a few of their very early video games, which sort of helped get them on that ladder to game stardom, so to speak. Enough talking, let's go. We are starting off with a very early Sega game, and it's 1981. It is Frogger, okay? Now, some will say this was developed by Konami, but I believe, my understanding was it was released and distributed by Sega. So, we're just visiting Sega games tonight, so I thought, well, you know, you've got to go for some of the old classics, ain't you, really? And I thought, what better way than Frogger, really? Quite a simple game. You've got this little frog down here. You've got to make your way across the busy highway, then onto the logs and the turtle backs and all that stuff, and put your frog in these various gaps, as you saw on the first one I did. I was never ever very good at this game, and confession time, I'm still not very good at this game, as you just saw there. But again, do drop in the comments your memories of this, if any at all. Also, do you remember there was on the Atari VCS back in the day, there was a game not dissimilar to this that I believe was called Freeway or Chicken or something. I remember a chicken, and you had to cross the freeway to get your chickens to the other side or something like that. Do you remember that one? We won't visit that tonight because we are simply doing Sega games. Oh, that's an Atari noise. Sorry about that. But hey, that's Star Wars. He misbehaves every now and then. He gets a bit leery. There we go. We've got 2 of the 5. We're on a timer now. I've got 25 seconds or whatever to get the rest in. That ain't happening. And as you can see, it's speeding up now. Let's try and get him in the last one. And bosh, that's 3 of the 5. Oh, look at the cars are racing a bit faster now. Oh, but that was Frogger, people. A good little game and still very memorable. I mean, it says down here actually Konami. So, let me have your knowledge on that. But my understanding was it was released by Sega. Questions already. 1986 by Sega, of course, the one, the only, everyone's favourite. It's Wonder Boy, isn't it? The music, the gameplay, everything on this was just an absolutely amazing game. Very simple play, just a jump and a shoot button. Obviously, if you held down your shoot button, it would race you along. I will not get particularly far today because simply I'm chatting. And when I do these beers and plays games, I do get a bit too nattery, and my gameplay does suffer. But I do have great memories of this in the arcades, and I'll be honest, my best memories probably are because of the value for money this game gave you. I mean, if you're of a certain age and of, you know, what I often refer to as the golden age of gaming in respect of sort of, you know, the 80s, and where we had all these great arcade games like this, you were lucky to be alive at that time. It's the only sort of thing age can celebrate, I think, but hey ho. Yeah, so this was an absolutely amazing game, and you got good value for this. I mean, some arcade games back then, you would put your coin in, and trust me, you were losing all day long. I've got the invincibility now, so I'm just making the most of that and not dodging anything. Now, another question to you guys that remember, whoo, that was close, Wonder Boy, is this: did you find the skateboard a help or a hindrance? I'll be absolutely honest, for me, I find it more a hindrance than a help. But the music on this, the graphics, the vibrancy and everything, it was just such an amazing game. And of course it spawned other releases which we might look at on some Sega consoles a bit later. But this was just an absolute classic, people, wasn't it? It was just great. It just had a great mix, platform, arcade action, because let's be honest, quite often arcades was synonymous with, they were always sort of your shoot 'em ups, excuse me, and your beat 'em ups. And games like your platform games weren't to a penny like the others were. So what other great arcade platform games can you remember from back in the day that would truly stand out? And would you include games like Bubble Bobble, more a puzzler, or a platform game? Anyway, Wonder Boy. I think this was released when Sega were at their absolute height in arcade gaming. We move on a year later. The one, the only, the classic Shinobi.
Mission 1.
Now, I'm sure many of you remember this, namely for the I think this was on the Master System, wasn't it? It's got released as an arcade coin-op conversion, should I say? And it was just a very, very good game indeed. And it was games like this that just helped cement. I'm trying to turn the volume up. There we go. They helped cement Sega in their absolute, you know, peak of gaming. We will visit a certain racing game shortly in terms of the arcade. But let's be honest, Sega produced these sort of games which are amazing. But quite often when people talk Sega, they always remember or reminisce about the, you know, the Outruns, the Space Harriers and all that. And again, you'd be right to, for their true absolute uniqueness. But Wonder Boy, Shinobi, all these sort of games, these were just so playable. And they converted very well to the home systems as well. So all in all, it was happy days, wasn't it? Oh, I've left the child behind, one of the kidnapped children. You know why, don't you? You know why I did that? Yes, you did. Because I'm chatting too much, people. Anyway, where's that stupid child got to? God, where did I leave my child? It'll be about, here they are, got ya. Right, sorry about that. Ugh, gave me an upgrade of bullets anyway from my Shurikens or Ninja Stars, whichever you prefer to call them back in the day. But I've probably said this more than once on the channel. We all remember, those of us being around at this sort of time, God, did you see how I jumped that bullet? That was luck more than judgment. Trust me! Woohoo! Anyway, yeah. Ninjas were massive back in the day. They really were. Ninjas were huge in school, books, film, everything. It was just one of those things. And that scene there with the Marilyn, I'm about to say Manson, the Marilyn Monroe backdrop, that's so iconic for the time. Now think, you see this as well, this guy coming down the wall here. Am I right? I think it was Marvel sued or they had to change the colour scheme of it because Marvel said it's too similar to Spider-Man. So if I recall right, I think they had to change the character that was crawling down the wall at that part of the stage because, excuse me, it was far too similar to Spider-Man. So Sega had to change it. And let's be honest, it weren't the first time Sega were in trouble for copyright infringement, was it? Again, that was another Shinobi game, wasn't it? If you know, you know. Oh yes, a certain Mega Drive game, to my understanding. Anyway, guys, Shinobi, do you remember that one? And the classic racing game I'm talking about. We're just going to visit it purely to listen to the soundtrack. Oh yes, you know what it is. You knew it, of course you knew it. It's the classic, it's the one, the only Outrun. Here it goes. Listen to the music. I'm not playing the game. I'm just listening to that sound. There were 3 songs on here. I mean, number one was it Magical Sound Shower? Something Splash? And I can't remember the third now. I haven't looked. I should have looked at the radio really. But just listen. There was a time any arcade you went into would have an Outrun cab. Whether it was a sit down or a stand up version, you'd enter, and my God, they were just so popular and such a great game. It really was. And that soundtrack, it's got to be one of the best arcade soundtracks of all time. All 3 songs. We all know it, don't we? And this soundtrack in particular, the one thing I remember more than anything else was I bought this on the ZX Spectrum. Again, it was the Spectrum, and this was the game you were after. If you were after something like that, you weren't getting no Ferrari. You were getting more like a Robin Reliant freewheeler, mate. But I'll tell you something, it come with a tape, because obviously the Spectrum could not even attempt to make a soundtrack like this. So you put the tape on to play Outrun on the Speckit and press play on the tape, and it had the soundtrack on it. Tell you what, such a great iconic game. Sorry I didn't play it, but hey, that song alone, it was worth it, wasn't it? And I've got to drink my beer. Happy days. Let's move on. Sega have done some absolute classics, haven't they? Oh yes. We're now going to delve into a Master System game or 2, people. Oh yes, the Master System obviously released after the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. Dare I mention Nintendo on this Sega special, but there you go, I've done it, ain't I? Hey. Anyway, the Master System. For me, the stranglehold was already got on that market, the 8-bit market, by NES. Of course it was, the entertainment system. It was a great console. Whether you love it or hate it, you can't deny it was good. This come along. Now for me, especially with the advertising and all that sort of stuff, this looked better graphically. Both systems had their faults. Both systems had their positives. But this was a real good standout system. I can remember my mate Popey, he went and bought one. He saved up his money and he got one, and it had come with 2 games. It had Hang On with it, but it come with a little credit card. You know, the little credit card game, which are very similar to sort of PC Engine games. And Sega never really took off with that. They only released a few games like that on that system, which is a shame. And the rest were all cartridge form. And he also got Rocky. Oh mate, the hours we invested into Hang On and Rocky were amazing. But looking back, I mean, the one thing I particularly like about this system was the simplicity of the covers. Right, ready? Action Fighter. Look at that. No artists were employed to make flamboyant images or anything else. They would just keep it very basic. Not all covers were basic, of course they weren't. I mean, there's that one there, Black Belt. Look how basic that one was, you know? But they did the trick. Choplifter. Classic arcade game, again by Sega. But look how simple the covers were. And for me, that was part of the appeal. Enduro Racer. A classic arcade game by Sega. It was one of their motorbike games, but this time you had to wrench the sort of bike back, you know, to do the jumps and all that. And that was the time I think sort of Sega were at absolute peak with creating all them sort of, I call them novelty type arcade games, because of, you know, half the appeal was the hydraulics or whatever. But this game for me on the Master System sticks out. It's a really, really enjoyable game, and it reminds me of an arcade game at the time, which wasn't Sega. I think it was called Zippy Race or something, or Traverse USA. That's the one. And this reminded me very much of that. Let's go take a look, because this is very different to the Sega arcade version. Here we go, people. Enduro Racer. Honestly, it's such a good little game. Very simple to play. Just press your button for accelerate, and as you do the jumps, you can sort of flip back on your D-pad to help you with the jumps, to assist with landing and stuff. And you just have to make your way through all the different levels. That jump was poor. I hit the D-pad at the wrong time. It's all about timing as well. On the D-pad, you have to flick the down button at the right point on them jumps to get the best sort of launch and the best speed off it. Like that one, I did really well on that one. There, I'm getting some great speed there. Oh, missed that one up. But anyway, as you can see, it is very different to how the arcade game was. And do you know what though? I like this. I would go as far to say, I think, if you're at home, right, and I was playing an emulated version of Enduro Racer, or this, and they said, which one do you want to play, OG? Do you know what? I think I'll probably choose this. It's such a good little game. And every now and then, they do, the odd game comes out where it was an original arcade game, and they've sort of made a change to it, and made it play very differently to the arcade original. This being a prime example of that. Now, finish that stage, and my understanding was, yeah, the more vehicles you pass or overtake, the more cash you earn, and you can upgrade. So I've got 7 points, and I can upgrade here. So I can upgrade suspension, engine, tyre, or accelerator. Obviously, I can't do them two there. They're expensive. Let's go for accelerator. Oh, yes. And we'll exit that. I've got 2 points remaining, which we can carry over. And as you can see, the level changes. But trust me, such a good fun game. Honestly, really good fun. So, can you name any other arcade games or conversions that were released that were nothing like their arcade counterparts, but actually really good games that could have stood up independently, like this one? Anyway, let me have your thoughts on that in the comments. So, Sega Master System, I think you did very well indeed when it comes to Enduro Racer. Oh yes. We have gone from the Master System, and the next step obviously has to be, oh yes, the Mega Drive, or the Genesis if you're that side of the pond, people. As you can see, I recently installed my new shelf there. I'm very proud of that. And I've hosted my Mega Drive games along there. As you can see, there it is in its entirety. Look at that bad boy, eh? Oh yes. Only thing is, I need to buy some more now to fill the gaps. Hey, anyway, we're going to visit the Mega Drive. My very first memories of getting my very first Mega Drive, I never played one in store, nothing like that. I went and bought one. I got it home, and it come packaged with Sonic, and I think it was a Formula 1 game. Oh, what was it? I'm looking down there, then I'm looking down there, they're up there. But anyway, I got it home, and I remember I plugged it in, and I put Sonic in. I thought I'll start on Sonic, you know, because the Sonic come packaged with it then. It wasn't the Altered Beast variant, you know, it come with Sonic. And the very first time I ever played Sonic the Hedgehog or saw it at home on a screen like that, I thought to myself, it was the first time I actually realised, you know what, we are there. And what I meant by that was gaming had evolved from, I was an 8-bit computer man, Commodore 64 Specky and all that. Then I had a Master System, or my mate had a Master System, usually plays and stuff. And then I got a Mega Drive, and I can remember playing the first Sonic for the very first time, and I thought to myself, this is it. We have got the true arcade gaming experience in our own homes now. And we did. And I thought to myself, arcades are finished. And do you know what? It probably was the start of the demise of classic arcades as we knew them back then. Because we could have that same experience at home. And I was just so impressed. So, we've got to visit a Sonic game, haven't we? It'd be rude not to, people. Oh yes, memories. Sonic, you spoilt us. Who remembers the days when consoles would come packaged with a game? And what a game to package with, honestly. This was Sega's answer to destroying Mario, or so they thought. We're playing this through the Retron system by Hyperkin. Basically, I have this for pure convenience. It does emulate so many different systems, all via cartridge. So I have this purely for convenience. So here we go, people. Who remembers this? So iconic. It's a bit of a silly question, actually, who remembers this? Everyone knows this. We're not going to play it for long. I'm literally going to play the first level just to reminisce. And then we'll go and visit a few other Mega Drive games, because it'd be rude not to, people. There are some absolute classics on this system. And I figure when we finish this, actually, we'll grab a beer first before visiting more Mega Drive games. And then we'll go and explore some other Sega systems from the back in the day, including some later arcade games, because my god, they didn't just finish with that Space Harrier and Outrun and all them classics. Oh no, they were far from over, people. Absolutely amazing stuff. But what a company Sega were. I mean, don't get us wrong, we all know they didn't finish here with a Mega Drive. This was just sort of the beginning of their sort of console times, really. They had a good go at it with everything else. But come on, let's be absolutely honest when we say this to ourselves. Surely it was the Mega Drive that was their golden years for Sega's home console entertainment. Surely? What do you think? Drop in the comments. We will leave the Sonic theme running in the background. Such a quality game. Anyway, next beer is a Victoria Malaga. I'm guessing, when I first read it as Victoria, I thought, oh, it's Australian, Victoria in America, in Australia. But no, it's not. I do believe this is Spanish. It's 4.8%. It's a 660ml. So that's over a pint. So that, my friend, means happy days. Now we're going to go and visit another Mega Drive game. Don't ask me which one, because I don't yet know. We're going to scour the shelves, go along there and whack another one in the Retron. But tell me, at this stage, are you enjoying this video where we're just focusing or, you know, drilling down onto one system alone or one company alone? Because I would happily produce other ones of these where we can do other companies and other game companies, etc, etc, etc. Anyway, thirsty work, all this gaming. Could be the chatting I'm doing as well, though. Anyway, let's go back to that Mega Drive shelf and find something a bit, yeah. What to play, what to play. So many classics on the Mega Drive. Oh, yes. That, my friends, is a very tasty beer indeed. Taking a look along the shelf, and I'll pick this out here, Predator 2. Now, Predator 1, the Arnie film, was an absolute stunning film. Predator 2, it was watchable, don't get me wrong, it was nowhere near as good as the first Predator film, but someone said recently in a comment, and sorry, I apologise, I can't remember who, but they said, this is a really good shoot 'em up. I never thought it was a shoot 'em up, but hey, I think one might have find out really, isn't there? Let's get that cartridge plugged into the Retron, let's find out. Predator 2, the game. Can you be any good? Predator 2, a new game on me, which you can jump straight in, people. Rescue 9 hostages, level 1, the streets. Okay. That's how it looks like a skeleton. Help. Yeah. Shoot button. Generally shoot these guys. What's he dropped? Drug squad. I assume that's... Are they meant to be needles? Not quite sure they are. Packets of drugs, maybe. What are they on the floor? Packets of drugs. Yes, look like some dodgy powder. Don't do drugs, kids. They're bad for you. And in the words of Grange Hill, just say no. Only the UK audience will understand that reference. And those of a certain age. Oh, yes. Oh, getting a bit busy here now. I mean, aiming at these guys isn't particularly easy. The angulation is all a bit weird. The isometric sort of feel to it all. Oh, well, at least it doesn't take you back to the start of the level. Oh, look, that's the Predator, Predator thing, angle of the dangle. There's a Predator about, people. I can't remember the Predator 2 film at all. I just remember Predator 1. It was absolutely stunning film. I truly loved it. And it's a film I can still watch even now, you know what I mean? And yeah, I'm smiling just thinking about it. Such a good film. I got you, yeah. Another hostage rescued. Like I say, the shooting, the isometric shooting side of it is not the greatest in the world. What am I thinking? Come on, OG, you got this. 4 more hostages. It'd be nice just to finish the level and see what happens next, you know what I mean? I could just race through to the next hostage, couldn't I? He says shooting the enemies. What am I thinking of this game? I'm quite enjoying it actually, it's alright. It's not bad. Oh, hello. What's going on here? I'm going to have to blast that to get through. Oh, look how many enemies there are. I think I've been a bit mobbed. Do you know what? That ain't an half bad game. It's one I will definitely be revisiting that. Oh, yes. Oh, there he is. Look, the Predator. He got me this time. Oh, hum. But can he beat Arnie? We all know the answer there. We visited the classic arcade genre, the Master System, the Genesis stroke Mega Drive. They are absolutely amazing. And let's be honest, I could do this a whole video just on Mega Drive alone or just on Master System. You could just literally niche it down again and again and again. But you know me, I like to mix it up. Yes, indeed. So I think we're going to visit a few of the later Sega consoles and some of the later arcade games that were released by Sega. Now, there's a certain arcade game that Sega released in later years. Oh, yes. And it's one that I enjoy very, very much. And I'm very lucky to have it on here. And it emulates brilliantly. Oh, what is it? The clue is this. The force is strong with this one. It is the one, it is the only Star Wars arcade trilogy, people. My God, it don't get any better than this, does it? Honestly, I can remember playing this on arcades so many times. And it's one of those games, even now, I still see it in arcades and stuff. But you know what? It's just never, ever been as good as I remember it, simply because quite often the machines you go to play it on are really beaten up. So let's go straight in. Let's go straight in on Hoth. Oh yes, that nice cold planet covered in snow. I mean, graphically and everything, this game was just the absolute dog stangly bits, wasn't it? It really was, mate. Here we go. Any Star Wars fan worth their salt will just look at this and go, I want to play that. I want to play it. And that, my friends, is me. When I emulated this, I was just so pleased. I play this off a mouse primarily, simply because, it doesn't ever fail to make me sort of jump like that. And I always play it on mouse simply because, for the controller, it's just so easy. It's so much easier, just much easier. Am I any good at it? No, I'm not. But you know what? I just enjoy it. Look at it. You're in the Star Wars universe. You can continue as much as you want and keep playing. Of course you can. Oh, go on, Rob. Keep blasting. Look at it. Look at it. It's just a thing of beauty. It truly is. I've got this emulating through a mini PC, which does a lot of my emulation for sort of Saturn and stuff like that. And yeah, but this game is just the absolute nuts, mate. I love it. I'll be honest, for the purpose of this video, I always start on Yavin, but I thought no, we'll have some. We'll make it a bit different. We'll go straight into the ice planet of Hoth. Because, hey, that's been a bit nippier late, isn't it? So, one more pass. Got him. That's fallen, mate. Good assistance. You're most welcome, son. You're most welcome. Red Leader or Rogue One or Tedrick the Third, whatever you are. I can be OG to red leader. Gold leader, come in, OG. Yep, that's me, son. Where are we going next? What do you want me to hit? Bosh, bosh. Oh, I got it there. There we go, look at that. Oh, you still blast, can't you? Blow them up. Oh, they're all getting me now. I'm getting a few hits on me now. Oh. Quite menacing, them little things, aren't they? Look at them. Yeah, he's brought down. Shoot at its neck. Oh, one level down, people. One level down. What an absolute beast of a game. I could do a whole video all just about Star Wars video games. I truly could. And I should. I love this level. Yeah, this is good. Gets good. Turns it. Oh, no. Yep. I knew it turned. Oh, missed him. Peeping round the corner at me, son. I got you. That's it. You better run. It's that sort of Virtua Cop and all that, innit? They were like this, but obviously they were light gun. This was, you had your aimer and a big old joystick, waggly joystick on the actual arcade cab, you know. But like I say, the problem is you see this arcade cab in the wild now and the graphics always glitchy. Always glitchy. But that, my friends, what a game. Do you remember that? They don't make arcade games like that anymore. They truly do not. Oh, such a great franchise. So many great games. But that one, I just really, really enjoy. It's just such good fun. I quite often come out here, put it on, and I'm there for a good 3, 4, 10 credits, mate. I'll just play it right through. And I don't bore of it. I'll play it again and again and again. Anyway, let's go visit some other Sega stuff. Let's do it in chronological order, shall we? Let's go visit the Saturn. I've got a few good Saturn games and I've got an original Saturn console as well. But for the purpose of this video, we will be doing emulation simply because my Sega Saturn is not actually set up. I'm all about convenience, people. I'm all about convenience. But we'll have a look down that game selection I have there and we'll choose one and play it. I could play that again. But no, for the purpose of this video, Saturn it is. Going in for a beat 'em up, people. Bit of Street Fighter. Now, whenever I play Street Fighter, I always play the same Street Fighter. And it's always Street Fighter 2 World Warrior. I'm a creature of habit, you know. But anyway, it seems weird playing a Capcom arcade game on a Sega system. But that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing via emulation. As I say, I really can't be, well, not bothered. I just haven't set up in space. It's about space, people. It's about space. Anyway, this is it. Bit of Street Fighter 2. Or not Street Fighter 2. What's your Alpha? Here we go. Street Fighter Alpha Warrior's Dreams. It's one I'm not au fait with. I'll be absolutely honest with you guys. I just love Street Fighter 2. As I say, creature of habit. And being a creature of habit, I'm going to play one person, and that one person is going to be who? Yes, you already know it, Ryu. I always play Ryu. Many people say Ryu and Ken are the same. I don't know, I'll be absolutely honest. I'm no good at the game. I enjoy it, but I'm no good at it. If you get me on a 2-player game of this, you are going to smash me 99.9% of the time. Hey, I like the hoodie cat. Anyway, he might be large, but he's going down. And we ain't talking Chinatown, people. Oh, no. Yeah, you might come in there we all nuts, son. Bosh, bosh. Bosh, bosh. I'm liking the cats in the background. There's loads of them wandering around. Look, what is this, Feral Cat City or something? I'm trying to do my Sudoku or whatever it is. That's him, one of them. Hadouken! Yes. I'm loving the wild cats. They're just sexy as. Look at them trotting around with nothing better to do. I know cats, mate. I've got pet cats, as you know. And if there was a couple of guys leaping about fighting like this, them cats wouldn't be nowhere to be seen, mate. Let alone just chilling like they are there. Need a swig of me beer, people. Swig of beer. Oh. Maybe not. I'll swig me beer in a minute. Let me beat him first, at least, or try to beat him, should I say. Nice big defence there, Rob. You did all right there, OG. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, myself. He's coming back a bit. I'm trying to do my special there, as you can see. I just can't quite pull it off. I think he's getting the better of me here. I'm bottling it, ain't I? I'm bottling it. Come on, Rob. You got the better of him. Come back into him. Just keep going at him. Oh, no. He's getting me, yeah? It's the cats. They're putting me off. Rob, do it for the cats. Beat him for the cats. He's not very nice to them cats. So you must beat him for the sake of the cats. Birdie. His name is Birdie, actually. And let's be honest, cats hunt birdies. So... Oh, he's nearly got me. I've nearly got him. Yes, I did it, guys. I did it for the cats. The OGDuffy did it for the cats. I'll tell you what. I think that's enough stress from that game for me. Let's go and look at the Sega. Which system? Oh, yes. The one, the only, the Dreamcast, people. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Sega Dreamcast. What are your memories of the Dreamcast? Do you remember it? For me, my memories are, I remember getting a package deal, and I think it was from HMV. And the price at the time, it was a brand new system. They were selling, obviously, and it was silly money. Because from what I recall, and I could be wrong, I was very late to the party when it came down to the Dreamcast. And I remember coming into it and thinking, at that price, I can't go wrong. So I did. I bought one with Silent Scope. I love Silent Scope. Such a great game. And on that, it was brilliant. The gamepad, everything worked really, really well. I bought quite a few games for it, of which I still own today. So I have got the original hardware. I've got the original games as well down there somewhere. There they are. Look, you can see the blue spines there. There. Yes. And I've got more up there in the loft that need to come down. But I do remember it very, very well. And graphically, it was a great, great console, the Dreamcast. It really was. But from what I recall, it didn't do as well as it should have done. I think it was a bit of a flop. You guys out there will know more than me, far more about the Dreamcast, why it worked and why it didn't work. But my understanding was it did not do particularly well. And it was sort of not the death, well, it was, I suppose, the death knell for Sega in relation to Dreamcast and everything else, how they went forward with consoles and they didn't really produce anything much after that. They just went into more just game development, didn't they? So I think it's very fitting that we finish this video by visiting the Dreamcast. I remember Shenmue. It was a great game. I loved visiting the arcades in Shenmue and playing them original, you know, Hang On and things like that. That was probably the best bit of it for me, actually. Oh, I was a retro gamer then and I didn't even know it. But no, the Dreamcast, I think, was a very underrated system. I think graphically it was awesome. And it just ticked all the boxes. And quite why it didn't succeed in the way it should have done, I really don't know. But as I've already said, one of you good people at home will know. So enough from me about the Dreamcast. Let's go give a few games a play. Okay, we're visiting the Dreamcast, obviously. Got some great games on this system. Ignore that background music. That's just the emulator deciding to make a nasty sound. Let's go. Another Capcom game on a Sega device. And it is that there, Giga Wing. Now this is one of those shoot 'em ups that is absolute what they call bullet hell. But look at that intro, look. Oh, who remembers that? Oh, such classic memories, mate. Capcom. I love Capcom games. But it's all about the Sega today. Now, I remember this game from the very first one, and it was on arcade. I remember it being on arcade, but I don't recall playing number 2 on arcade, so I don't even know if it was an arcade game. I'm sure it probably was, Giga Wing. But Giga Wing 2 here is on the, this is the Dreamcast version we're looking at today. Here we go. Let's hit that start button. Arcade, score, attack, ranking, gallery. We're going to go straight in on arcade. We're going normal mode. Follow pilot wanted, challenge, tag mode, kart, Kingfisher. Who do we choose? Well, she looks a bit Princess Leia-ish in her little white costume. She looks a bit nerdy. She looks a bit ready. He looks a bit Pirates of the Caribbean-esque. And he looks like a doctor. So I think we're going Princess Leia because of my love of Star Wars. Reflect barrier or reflect laser. This is a game I'm not over familiar with. Well, today's mission is, yeah, I'm not really interested. Let's get into the game. So that's fire, and then you have a special. Now, these games are known as bullet hell, aren't they? Simply because you start playing them, and when you get attacked, oh, the bullets start coming thick and fast. But listen to that soundtrack. I used my special there. And your scores are ridiculous in these games as well. You get ridiculous amounts of scores. Oh, and your numbers. But when I call it bullet hell, you will soon see the amount of bullets that get thrown at you in these sort of games. But you know what? There's a certain thing about these sort of games I just really enjoy. Always have done. You have to master the reflection in this and all that for the bullets and stuff. Listen to that soundtrack. It's weird, isn't it? It's sort of an operatic soundtrack for a shoot 'em up. It just doesn't... I mean, look at the amount of bullets on the screen right there. Look, it's just crazy, isn't it? It's nuts, look. Power up. Oof. Get that. Look, I mean, how you meant to with them bullets? It's just nuts, but it's they're such good fun, honestly. If you've never played one of them bullet hell games, jump on board. I really enjoy them. I didn't do very well there, but I've had a few beers and I'm chatting like a good one. Let's grab a beer, people, and let's reminisce about tonight's shenanigans and reminisce all about that great company that is Sega. Back onto the Lady Stella to conclude, my good people. Oh yes, I do enjoy myself a good Lady Stella, and a bit of golden axe there going on in the background. What a game that was, 1989 by Sega. Honestly, one of my all-time faves as well. But one we never even visited tonight. And I think that's the thing. When you look at Sega's history in video games, it is vast. It is huge. It is massive. I could do 10 of these videos just about Sega generated, just about their arcade game history. And we'd still be there on that, you know. There is just so many great, good games that Sega produced over the years. They really, truly have. Oh, yes. Oh. I do love Standard Stella. Anyway, not just that. I mean, when we come to talk about Sega and the rest of it, right, their arcade years, for me, just made them what they are. And then from there, when they started on the home console market, the Master System was brilliant. It was breakthrough, wasn't it? It was great. It rivaled the NES. And if anything, graphically, I think it probably looked a bit better than the NES. And then we had the Mega Drive. And for me, I think the greatest console war of all time was the Mega Drive versus the SNES or the Super Nintendo. When both of them went head to head, that is still another debate for another day. Because trust me, I don't know what side of the... Oh, I don't know who I back on that one. It changes on any given Sunday, literally. Because, hey, both have great games. Anyway... Sega have a rich history. Then they went into the Saturn, you know what I mean, to rival the PS1. We know what happened there. The PS1 trampled it. Well, trampled pretty much everything, didn't they, at the time, Sony. And then, of course, they did the Dreamcast, which was outstanding. And that's a question for you guys. As I said at the time when I was looking at it, why did the Dreamcast not do as well as it should have done? Because let's be honest, graphically and everything else, I think we can all agree it was a truly outstanding console for its time. Graphically, it was brilliant. I think the games were there. But what went wrong? What went wrong? Because something failed, didn't it? Yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. But at least Sega are still alive to this day producing games. Yes, they've not got a console out, but let's be honest. And over to you again with the comments on this. Is any new company going to break the market and come through now? I mean, you've got Xbox, Microsoft, and you've got Sony with a PlayStation. I can't see anyone, no matter how big a name, and of course you've still got Nintendo, I know, with the Switch and stuff, but I don't know, I just don't think anyone can come in and break through now. I really don't. There was rumour that Sega are going to release a new console. I don't think it's going to do anything, I'll be absolutely honest. I mean, nostalgia, of course I want to see something like that. It'd be the making of it, I'd love it, but I just don't think anyone can break the big boys now. I think the big boys have got the market pretty much tied up. Even to the point, dare I say it, about Nintendo. But we're not going there, because it's all about Sega, people. All about Sega. Which brings me to conclude today's video. I hope you've really enjoyed it. I could literally go and revisit and do one of these again for every single Sega system or whatever. But do let me know in the comments, do you want to see these sort of videos, and would you like me to see other systems, other game developers, and we just explore sort of history and just drop in and out of their various games and systems. I've really enjoyed this. We say, it's gaming and it's beer, so what's not to love, people? Oh, yes, indeed. Hey, cheers, folks. And before I leave you, and you leave me, if you don't already do so, hit subscribe, but most importantly, comment. Let me know your thoughts, what other videos you'd like to see on this sort of genre in the future. Do you want to see Nintendo? Do you want to see me drill down into NES or whatever, you know what I mean? We can do all sorts here. We can do it all together with a few beers, because it'd be rude not to. Anyway, I've been OGDuffy. You've been absolutely awesome. And this beer is for each and every one of you. I appreciate you all. And I'll see you all on the next one. Latest, people.